Could a clock be the key to getting astronauts to Mars? We're connecting the dots on NASA's latest project.
Wind and heavy rain have destroyed homes across the northern Bahamas. We get a look at the devastation left by Hurricane Dorian, plus where the storm is headed next.
Smelling less smoke. This summer we saw a lot less smoke in the air than previous years, how different it really was and why we saw the change.
Kids in North Idaho are gearing up for their first day of school this morning. Teachers and students, we want to know, what's your favorite thing about school?
Many of us are headed back to work or school this morning. We find out how people spent the unofficial end of summer.
"5 a.m. now on our Tuesday morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. So great to have you with us today. I'm Jen York.
I'm Evan Durrani.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
Oh, we made it through Labor Day weekend.
We have.
That's right. Kind of the unofficial end of summer.
Okay, see, that's what we were saying yesterday, and I don't like that idea because we're sticking with summer for a little bit.
The weather's
to hear that.
It's very nice outside, and technically the start of fall isn't until September 23rd, so a few weeks.
perfect. So I'm going to hang on to every last little bit of summer.
Yes.
Evan, why don't you take it away for a
Sounds
morning
right.
rush? Tell us
Okay.
what we can expect, especially for the first day of school.
That's right. Okay, so a lot of people yesterday enjoyed sunny blue skies. Today we've got a very similar situation with just a few clouds lingering along the way. So it's going to be a great day overall if you're headed out to school. Take a look at the forecast. Kind of a mix of sun and clouds through a good portion of the day, but that's going to be quite fine because we're going to see those temperatures warm up to an even warmer range than where we saw them yesterday. Today's afternoon high is expected at 89 degrees. Much of central Washington is going to make it to the low 90s. North Idaho, I'd say about mid to upper 80s in a similar range to Spokane. A little bit of a breeze coming through toward the afternoon, maybe south-south winds at 5 miles an hour, but otherwise staying dry and staying calm. The only area where we see a marginal risk for some thunderstorms comes up toward about the northern Cascades and along the Canadian border, where we see very minimal risk, but that's going to be the only spot where we see any risk at all. Everywhere else, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, both counties, Kootenai County, all looking dry into the afternoon and evening, and this trend of dry weather sticks with us all the way into about your Friday. That's when we start to see some changes on it. Now, of course, this morning we are still tracking Hurricane Dorian, now a Category 3 hurricane, moving barely. It stalled at one point this morning. It was stationary. Now it's moving at 1 mile an hour, similar to where it was yesterday. It's declined in its intensity. It was previously a Category 5, now a Category 3, still packing winds of 120 miles an hour, gusts of 150 miles an hour. The problem at hand, two high pressure systems on either side are blocking its path. So it's sitting in place basically right on that tip of Florida along with the northern Bahamas, waiting for one of these high pressure ridges to break down for anything to change really. And I know that Jen, you have plenty more information on Hurricane Dorian now.
That's right, Evan. Thank you. Hurricane Dorian has weakened, as you mentioned, to a Category 3 hurricane. Dorian is swirling over the Bahamas nearly at a standstill. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez is live in the newsroom with more on Dorian and what Florida communities are doing to prepare in case it makes landfall. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, Jen. So like you said, Dorian has weakened to a Category 3 hurricane, but it is still dangerous. The hurricane is still expected to get close to Florida's east coast before moving up alongside Georgia and the Carolinas. Its wind speeds have lessened a bit to 120 miles per hour with higher gusts, and that's down from the 130 miles per hour the winds were at last night. Dorian has kept its devastating grip on the Bahamas. It's responsible for at least 5 deaths in the Abaco Islands, and Florida, Georgia, and Carolinas are currently bracing for this storm.
Our mission and focus now is search, rescue, and recovery.
Officials and residents are hoping it stays off the Atlantic coast as it slowly moves north, but the millions of people there are still ordered to evacuate as the hurricane has taken lives and damaged thousands of homes.
Get out now while you have time, while there's fuel available.
Residents are continuing to stay prepared and have been on high alert for many days for this unpredictable hurricane. In preparation of Dorian touching down in Florida, 93 nursing homes and 7 hospitals have been evacuated, but some residents are staying put. More than 8 million seniors live in Florida's East Coast counties, and those staying put will be forced to leave if wind speeds get higher or if Dorian touches down. This is, of course, a developing story, and we will continue to keep you updated as we receive more information. Back to you, Jen.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Back here closer to home, a local firefighter is recovering this morning after being severely burned fighting the spring coulee fire. That fire sparked Sunday night in Okanagan County. Authorities say he suffered second and third degree burns on more than half of his body. Crews airlifted him to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. Authorities say he is currently in a medically induced coma. Meanwhile, the fire is contained. It burned about 150 acres near Omak. Crews are still investigating the cause. We have new information in the Odessa, Texas mass shooting. The governor tweeted out the gunman did not undergo a background check for the weapon used in that shooting spree. Police say the shooter had been on a downward spiral. They say he was fired from his job on Saturday, just a short time before the shooting. 7 people died and more than 20 others were injured. Today, crews are expected to give an update about a barricade collapse at a Seattle music festival. We told you about this story yesterday. You can see it there. Authorities say 25 people suffered injuries when that barrier collapsed Saturday at Bumbershoot. Law enforcement leaders say it's hard to predict when something like this could happen, but they say there are a few common sense rules to follow. They say make sure everyone is accounted for. Work to get away from that incident and then get out of law enforcement's way so they can get in to help. Spokane may be in the running to get a smart bus. It's part of the Pacific Northwest Ollie Fleet Challenge. To win, cities must propose a short-term and local use for that bus. The winner of the challenge could get the smart bus with futuristic features. The bus can fit up to 8 people in its box-sized dimension. You can see it there. It's fully run on electricity and goes up to 25 miles per hour. Organizers say an announcement will be made soon. Well, that is your morning rush. Stories making headlines here in the Inland Northwest and around the nation. You can let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM. It is just ahead of 5:07 now. Today is the start of a new school year in North Idaho. Students in Kootenai County, Coeur d'Alene, and Post Falls school districts will head back to class. KREM 2's Dana Marie McNichol is here in studio to talk about what you need to know to start the school year off right. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen. I cannot believe it's back to school. Grab your folders, lace up your sneakers, and pack up that lunch because it's time to go back. But before we get into that, I want you guys to know what you think is the best part about going back to school. Get out your new KREM 2 mobile app and vote with us this morning. Is it socializing, recess, learning something new? Let us know. We want to know all morning long. As many students are heading back to school today, the Spokane Police is reminding drivers to slow down. Officers are telling drivers to be aware of the speed limits at posted school zones. There are also several red light cameras installed. Some of them are listed there on your screen. The SPD officer says drivers should always obey posted speed limit zones. And a question you might be asking yourself this morning, when is it okay to pass a stopped school bus with its stopped arm is out? Well, here's the rules. If you're on a 2-lane road, both directions need to stop. If you're on a road with 3 or more lanes, you need to stop if you're traveling in the same direction as the bus. And if you're traveling in the opposite direction, you can keep going. Traveling in the same direction as a bus and are in turning lane, you must stop. But if you're traveling in the opposite lane, you can keep driving. When there's a median, if you're traveling in the same direction as a bus, you must stop, but you can continue if you're driving in the opposite direction. You're not allowed to resume driving until the red light stops flashing and the stop arm is retracted on the bus. Now remember, some school buses now have cameras to catch you in the act. And be careful because if you don't stop correctly in the state of Washington, you could face a $430 ticket. We're asking you for your back to school pictures this week, of course. We want to see what the first day of school looks like for you. Send us your pictures on the Up with KREM Facebook page, and your photos could be featured on air. And parents, of course, we want to know what you're doing too. We want to see what you're doing after you drop off your kid from school. And make sure to be safe on those roads this morning. And from here, all of us at KREM, we wish you a wonderful first day of school, and make sure to vote in our poll all morning long. We'll be getting those updates to you. Send it back to you, Jen.
All right, Dana Marie, thank you. I'm loving some of the pictures that we've already received.
I know, they're so sweet. Makes me think about when I was my new backpack and school supplies.
Right, the back to school time. All right, Dana Marie, thank you so much. It is 5:09 now. Well, so they say it's just a growth spurt. However, experts say the large amount of weight a boy gains in his teenage years can lead to heart attacks before the age of 65. Swedish researchers looked at more than 1 million 18-year-old boys. They say the chances of a heart attack can be lowered by, get this, cutting down the time spent on a phone. All right. Well, experts say walnuts, pistachios, and almonds are a good snack, but they have more benefits than you might think. This is from a new study from the European Society of Cardiology. It found eating a portion of nuts at least twice a week is linked to a 17% lower risk of dying from a heart attack. They say it also led to a lower risk of stroke and other heart disease-related conditions. Well, temperatures will start to cool down as we inch closer to fall, though Evan says we still have a few weeks. But they say cooler weather will lead to a better night's sleep. Studies show high temperatures increase the likelihood of disturbed sleep. The National Sleep Foundation recommends getting your room set at 71 or 75 degrees for the best night's sleep.
I couldn't listen to anything you were saying with those pictures.
It's a real close-up on that guy's noggin.
Yeah, exactly.
Lady, like who is that?
I can get behind that. I would say I prefer my room to be a little bit cooler and then load up on the blankets.
Yes.
Rather
You like the
than,
wind.
Exactly. Well, you use an electric blanket in the winter.
Oh yeah, I did last night.
So-
It was too cold last night for
last
me.
night? So you're
I'm
already
a
on it.
weenie. I love it to be hot. I wake up if I'm cold.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what about the air? Are you okay with the air being a little bit
I
cooler?
like it to be warm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you just
All
want
of the
everything.
above.
Warm all the
Jen's
time.
retiring in Palm Springs.
Yes, that's
Exactly,
where I
right?
would shine, that's for sure. All right, it is 5:11 now on our Tuesday morning. Well, could NASA's latest project bring us closer to visiting Mars? We connect the dots after the break.
And the Spokane mayor's race is seeing record spending this year. But what about council president? Our political team is digging into the numbers at 5:30.
And it may be hard to believe, but football season is here. Voting is now open for the second Tom's Tailgate of the season. You can vote right now on KREM.com and on the new KREM 2 mobile app. You at home can choose which game Tom Sherry will attend this Friday. So your choices are Ferris at Moses Lake or East Valley at Deer Park. So far, East Valley at Deer Park is barely leading the votes. Voting closes Wednesday at 6 p.m. We'll be right back.